Hello students, in this session let us start the second chapter, residential status. The taxability of an individual in India depends upon his residential status in India for any particular financial year. The term residential status has been coined under the income tax law of India and it is nothing to do with citizenship of India. An individual who is citizen of India may end up being a non-resident for a particular year. Similarly, a foreign citizen may end up being a resident of India for income tax purpose for a particular year. Here, his residential status is depending upon some rules. That is, here his residential status is depending upon the number of days he reside in India in the previous year. So, a person who reside in India for a particular period or for particular number of days and earn income in India or outside India is a resident of India for income tax purpose. Here the main thing is for how many days he is living in India. On that basis the tax liability of an individual or an SSC is calculated. As per section 4 of Income Tax Act, income tax is to be charged on the income of the previous year of a person at the rate fixed for the assessment year by the Annual Finance Act. In annual budget, they will tell what is the tax rate for that particular assessment year on the income of previous year. And an SSC may earn income in India or outside India or at both the places. The tax liability is determined on the basis of his residence in India in the previous year. Residence means number of days living in India. On the basis of that, residence is calculated. The residential status of an individual need not to be same each year. His residential status may change on the basis of his residence during the previous year. The rules determining the residential status are not the same for all the SSCs. Here, rules to calculate tax liability or residential status of an individual changes as per their residential status. For ordinary resident, the rules of calculating residential status and tax liability is different from the rules regarding calculation of residential status of a non-resident. For income tax purpose, an SSC can be classified into 3 categories on the basis of his residence during the previous year. Here an SSC may be an individual or a firm or a Hindu undivided family or an association or maybe a company, but their residential status can be classified into 3 categories. They are ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. First, let us start with the residential status of an individual defined under section 6 subsection 1 of Income Tax Act. An individual is said to be resident in India in previous year if he satisfies any one of the following conditions. To become a resident of India, an individual must satisfy any one of the 2 following conditions. What are the conditions? See here. See, first condition is he is in India for a period of 182 days or more during the previous year. To become a resident of India, he must be in India for 182 days or more during the previous year, or he is in India for a period of 60 days or more during the previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 preceding previous years. To become resident of India, he must satisfy any one of the following conditions. First condition is he is in India for a period of 182 days or more in the previous year, or he is in India for the period of 60 days or more during the previous year and 365 days or more during the preceding 4 years. If he satisfies any one of these basic conditions, he will become resident of India. There are some exceptions to the second rule, that is, he is in India for the period of 60 days. For some SSCs, they must live in India for 182 days or more in the previous year except 60 days rule. What are exceptions? See, the first exception is an individual who is a citizen of India and leaves India in previous year for the purpose of employment, and Indian citizen being a crew member of an Indian ship leaving India, or individual Indian citizen or Indian origin of foreign national living outside India visiting India in the previous year. For these purpose or these SSCs must fulfill the first basic condition instead of second basic condition. What are the exceptions here? First one, an individual leaving India for employment purpose, or Indian citizen being crew member of Indian ship, or individual living outside India visiting India in the previous year. They must reside in India for 182 days to become resident of India. So, these are the exceptions to the second rule, that is, he is in India for a period of 60 days or more during previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 preceding previous years. So, these are the exceptions to that rule. To an individual to become ordinary resident in India, he has to satisfy both the additional conditions besides satisfying any one of the basic conditions. So, to become ordinary resident of India, he must satisfy 2 additional conditions along with any one of the basic conditions discussed previously. So, what are that additional conditions? Let us discuss that conditions. These additional conditions are defined under section 6 subsection 6 of Income Tax Act. So, the additional conditions are, first one, he has been resident in India for at least 2 years out of the preceding 10 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. Here, first additional condition is he has been resident in India at least for 2 years out of 10 preceding previous years, that is immediately preceding the relevant previous year. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅವನು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ವರ್ಷ 2 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 10 ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಆ 10 ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲಿನ 10 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 10 ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಆ 10 ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಇಯರ್ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅದರ ಮೊದಲಿನ 10 years ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಈಸ್ he is in India for at least 730 days during 7 years immediately preceding the relevant previous years. 730 days during the 7 years. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನು, ಅವನು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ 730 ಡೇಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ 730 ಡೇಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 7 years. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲಿನ 7 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 730 ಡೇಸ್ ಅವನು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದೆರಡು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಅವನು ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅವನು ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ previously. So these are the additional conditions which he has to satisfy along with the basic condition, that is any one of the basic conditions. So remember these 2 points, 2 years out of 10 previous years immediately preceding the previous years, because previous yearಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚಿನ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸಿಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಡಿಷ್ನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಈಸ್ he is in India for at least 730 days out of during 7 years immediately preceding the last previous year. So remember these points. And next thing is not ordinarily resident. To become a ordinary resident, we already learned or we already studied the rules. First one, he must satisfy any one of the basic conditions, and he must satisfy both additional conditions. Then who is said to be a not ordinarily resident of India? So if an individual satisfies any one of the basic conditions but does not satisfy both the additional conditions, he is said to be resident but not ordinarily resident. If he satisfies any one of the basic conditions and fails to satisfy both the additional conditions, he will become not ordinarily resident. The rules for calculating tax liabilities and residential status are different. ಹಾಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನಿಗೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿಲಿ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ fulfills any one of the basic conditions and fails to fulfill both additional conditions. Then who is a non-resident? If an individual fails to satisfy any one of the basic conditions and both or the any one of additional conditions, he is said to be non-resident. If an individual fails to satisfy both basic conditions, he will become non-resident. If he fails to satisfy both basic condition, there is no question of considering the additional conditions. So he will become non-resident of India. So this is the chart, this is the table regarding residential status of an individual. Please go through it thoroughly. See, first column is status of an individual, second one basic conditions, and third column is additional conditions. So here status of an individual, ordinary resident or not ordinary resident and non-resident. Basic conditions, see here, if an individual satisfies at least one basic condition and satisfies both additional conditions, he will become ordinary resident. And if a person satisfies any one of the basic conditions and may or may not satisfy any of the additional conditions, he will become non-resident of India. If a person fails to satisfy any one of the basic conditions not required to check the additional conditions because he already failed to satisfy the basic condition. He will become non-resident of India. So, this is about residential status of an individual. To become an ordinary resident, he must fulfill any one of the basic conditions and both additional conditions. If he fails to satisfy both additional conditions, but if he satisfies any one of the basic condition, he will become not ordinary resident, and if he fails to satisfy any one of the basic condition, no need to check the additional conditions because he will become the non-resident only. Next, let us know the residential status of a Hindu undivided family. A Hindu undivided family is resident in India in any previous year if the control and management of its affairs situated wholly or partly in India during the relevant previous year. If the control and management of the affairs of Hindu undivided family resides in India or situated in India in the previous year, they will become the resident of India. To become ordinary resident of India, the Karta of the family must satisfy both the additional conditions. Here, to become resident of India, they have to satisfy any one of the basic conditions, and to become ordinary resident, the Karta must satisfy both additional conditions. Here, the residential status of an Hindu undivided family is based upon the Karta and his residence in India or outside India. So, if a Karta does not satisfy both the additional conditions, they will become not ordinary resident, and if the control and management of their affairs is situated wholly outside India, they will become non-resident. So, this is about Hindu undivided family. Here, if the Karta or control and management of the Hindu undivided family is situated in India, they will become resident of India. If the Karta satisfies both additional conditions that we discussed previously, they will become ordinary resident. If the Karta does not satisfy the additional conditions, they will become not ordinary resident, and if the control and management is wholly situated outside India, they will become non-resident, same as your individual. Here same rules apply ಆಗ್ತದೆ individual ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ Hindu undivided family ಗೆ, but here the importance is given to Karta. Next, let us know the residential status of firm and associations. Here, to become ordinary resident, the control and management of a firm and its affairs is partly or fully situated in India during the previous year. To become ordinary resident, the management and control of a firm must be situated in India fully or partly. They will become not ordinary resident. Here, firm or association cannot become not ordinary resident because usually the control and management is situated at a place where the directing power are situated. Here the partners will reside in India to manage or control the affairs of partnership firm, and they will become non-resident if the control and management of its affairs is situated wholly outside India in the previous year. That means here the management or the partners of a partnership firm, if they reside in India, outside India in the previous year, the firm also become non-resident of India. Next, let us see the rules of a company to become ordinary resident of India. So, to become ordinary resident of India, a company must be an Indian company, or during that previous year the control and management of its affairs is situated wholly in India. So, to become an ordinary resident, a company must be an Indian company, and during the previous year the control and management of its affairs is situated wholly in India. And a company can never become not ordinary resident, same as your firm. They cannot become not ordinary resident because control and management is situated at a place where the directing powers are situated. Company elli irtade alle directing powers kuda irtade, so they will not become not ordinary resident. And a company can become non-resident in India if it is not an Indian company, or during that year the control and management of its affairs is situated wholly or partly outside India. If for any previous year the controlling power or management of its affairs situated outside India, or a company which is not an Indian company will become non-resident of India, but they have to pay tax in India for the income they earned in India. So, this is about residential status of an individual, Hindu undivided family, firm and a company. So, thank you. Go through these rules, that is basic conditions and additional conditions that an SSC must fulfill to become ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. Let us meet in the next session with some problems regarding to this residential status. Thank you.